Hey everybody, it's another video about the Beatles' Let It Be and Get Back albums, and this video is specifically about all the songs recorded during these sessions that you can get officially on Beatles albums. So let's say you have this box set that came out last year and you've been really enjoying it like I have. I've really been loving this. And you've absorbed all the information on here, but you want to listen to more of the songs from these sessions, but you just want to hear the officially released versions. Where can you find them? That's what this video is all about. I'm going to be telling you exactly where you can find every single officially released song from these sessions on various Beatles albums. So now, what do I mean by officially released and like what counts as a version and all that kind of stuff? So what I mean is albums that were obviously officially released by the Beatles, Apple Records, or EMI, Parlophone, or Capitol, whatever. They're official releases. So none of the bootlegs, obviously, even though there's a lot of bootleg material from these sessions out there, which is a lot really cool stuff as well. But what I'm focusing on is the officially released stuff. Now, there's a lot of it out there, and it's kind of a daunting task. And I tried to do as much research as I possibly could, and I'm going to show you where you can get all of the officially released recordings if you want to put them all together. I'm going to show you every single album that I have that has those recordings and try to explain a little bit about that. Now, also what counts is if something has been remixed, that is a new version for me. So even though like the song Get Back, for example, there are so many different versions of Get Back out there. For example, on this box set alone, there are 5 different versions of Get Back. Yes, 5 on here alone. But that's not to say that Get Back was then remixed for the Beatles' one album. It was also on the single version was on the Beatles' mono masters and past masters for the stereo version. So already we're off to, there are just so many different versions of these songs from the sessions. So let's get started. And first we'll talk about the officially released Let It Be album that came out in 1970, which of course is this album right here. This is the album that I'm sure everybody out there watching right now owns. And this has all of the songs from the Let It Be album. This is the Phil Spector version. So if you have this, you're off to a great start. You have all of the songs from the Let It Be official album right there. But now moving on to where it gets a little bit more kind of tricky, right? You then have Let It Be Naked. Now, these are all the song titles, except for Don't Let Me Down, that were on the original Let It Be album, were remixed and put together at the request of Paul and Ringo and George in 2003. This is when this came out. And I've gone over this album a lot in some of my other videos, so check back for those videos where I talk about Let It Be Naked and the contents of it and all that stuff. But I will say that these are all different versions of the songs that have been remixed and edited together from different takes and all that kind of stuff. And it includes a Fly on the Wall 45 disc that has little snippets of songs from the Let It Be Get Back sessions as well. So you also need to have Let It Be Naked if you want to have all the available recordings from these sessions as well. So, and I also highly recommend the album. I think it's a really cool album. So Let It Be Naked, you also need to have in your collection if you want to have every single officially released song from these sessions. Now moving on, the Beatles Anthology 3. Now, this is super essential. Besides having songs from the White Album on here and Abbey Road, it also contains songs from the Get Back, Let It Be sessions. And it starts with I've Got a Feelin' is on here. You got a different version of that. You got She Came Through the Bathroom Window, which is recorded during the Let It Be Get Back sessions. And I know, of course, that was released eventually on Abbey Road. But it was during those sessions. You get Dig a Pony, Two of Us, For You Blue, Teddy Boy, and you get what I think is probably the most valuable recording on here from those sessions. You get a medley. You get Rip It Up, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, and Blue Suede Shoes, which I think is so fantastic. It has Billy Preston playing with them, and it's very loose, but it's probably one of the highlights in my opinion, from the Get Back, Let It Be sessions. As far as the outtakes goes, it is definitely a major, major highlight. And another highlight from the sessions is a song called Mailman Bringing Me No More Blues, which is like a Buddy Holly, I think it's a Buddy Holly song, that they also recorded during that time period. Also a really, really, really cool recording. So Anthology 3 is also very, very important to own as far as getting all of the officially released Get Back, Let It Be material. So Beatles Anthology 3, you gotta have that. Then the Beatles Mono Masters. This is the 3 LP set. This contains 3 songs that are from the Get Back, Let It Be sessions, and one of the songs on here is a song called Across the Universe, which I'm sure everyone is very, very aware of, and I think it's on here. Yes, it is, of course. For a second I was worried. And that's on here. And so also you get the single versions, the mono mixes of Get Back and Don't Let Me Down, which are also on here. And those are also very, very essential. Actually, I really, really like the mono mix of Get Back. I think it's very, very cool, very punchy. And you also would then need to have the Beatles Past Masters, because this contains the stereo versions of Get Back and Don't Let Me Down from the singles. And it also has Across the Universe as well on here, which is the World Wildlife Foundation version, which has the birds at the beginning, and it's way, way different than the Phil Spector version that ended up on the officially released Let It Be album. I'm sure all of you already know that, but for those of you who don't, there are 2 major releases for Across the Universe, and I will talk more about Across the Universe, by the way, because there are different versions you can find. But those 2 versions were the only ones we had for a long time, which was the Phil Spector version and then the version that can be found on Past Masters, the stereo version. So these 2 albums are also albums that you need to have if you want to have all of the officially released versions of the material from the Beatles Let It Be Get Back sessions. I also just highly recommend both these albums as well, especially the Mono Masters. It sounds amazing, and it just has great, great songs. But I don't need to tell you that. Next up, you would need to have the Beatles 1 album, but specifically the Beatles 1 album that was released in 2015. And this features all the songs have been remixed by Giles Martin, except, of course, songs that could not be remixed, which are the first 3 songs, Love Me Do, For Me To You, and She Loves You. Those only exist in mono at this point. But on this album, which we're going to concentrate on, are the songs just the song. Well, no, not just song. We're talking about the songs Get Back, Let It Be, and Long and Winding Road. And those have all been remixed. And, of course, the version of Let It Be on this particular album is a different version. It is the single version. And I also should have mentioned that the single version of Let It Be, the original mix of the single version, can be found on Past Masters, this album right here. And it is different than the version on the album. It has different guitar solos. That's the big difference you can tell. But the single version has been remixed by Giles Martin on this album right here, along with Long Winding Road and Get Back. So that's another version of Get Back, by the way, on this album. So keep that in mind. So the Beatles 1. And by the way, I think these remixes sound really, really, really good. I like this album quite a lot. Puts the Beatles into a modern context, if you're into that. Then we're getting into the nitpicky stage of all of this. And the Beatles' Love album features a remixed mashup version of the Beatles song Get Back from these Get Back, Let It Be sessions. So even though it's getting kind of technical here, if you want to have every single version officially released from these sessions, you got to have the Love album. And Get Back happens to be the second song on this album. And I really enjoy the Love album as well, by the way. It's totally a different experience when it comes to the Beatles, and it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I actually like it quite a lot. The sound quality on here is excellent as well. So yes, highly recommend this one as well. Very, very cool. And then if you're getting very, 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 very technical, and actually before I even do that, I forgot one other thing, and I'm going to pull it out here. And I know you're thinking, he's pulling out the Beatles Anthology 2, and there's a Get Back, Let It Be song from here. Yes, there is a version of Across the Universe on here, and it happens to be the very, very last song on side 6 of the third record in this set. And it is a version of Across the Universe, an early version recorded in 1968, I believe. Yeah, at the beginning of the year in 68. And yeah, so if you want to have every single song that was released on the Let It Be album, which includes Across the Universe, even though it wasn't really recorded during the sessions for Get Back, Let It Be, although I know some of you were saying, but wait a second, wasn't it rehearsed? Yes, they rehearsed it at Twickenham Studios, and they also rehearsed it again at their Apple Studios, but those recordings were never officially released from those sessions, and they ended up, like, Phil Spector went back and grabbed the recording from this time period and used it for the Let It Be album. But, so that's why we're going back to Anthology 2 to get this Across the Universe recording. So, technically speaking, if you want to have every single recording from those sessions, you got to have Anthology 2. And why wouldn't you want Anthology 2? It's an amazing, amazing record that I've talked about before, but there you go. Anthology 2. And here is where we get extremely technical. And this particular song that I'm going to be talking about from this comes from the Beatles' White Album. This is the deluxe edition from the 50th anniversary. This is the CD Blu-ray version, and you get 6 discs on here. And obviously I'm holding this one because I have the vinyl version of this as well, but for all the outtakes, they didn't release the outtakes on vinyl. You just have to have them on CD here. And one of those outtakes is a song that eventually was recorded for the Let It Be Get Back sessions, and it's a song called Let It Be, in fact. And they went through like a quick little jam version of it. You can find it on disc 5. It's one of the sessions discs, and it happens to be track number 12. And while they were recording George's song "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," they started jamming on "Let It Be." So you're just like a little bit of a snippet of them jamming on it, and they're just kind of repeating the "Let It Be," "Whisper Words of Wisdom" phrase over and over again. But it is cool to hear, and technically speaking, it is a part of these sessions that we're talking about. So, got to find it on here. Another thing that I should mention, this is honorable mention. It's not really honorable mention because it's actually an officially from the sessions. The entire Rooftop performance that the Beatles did on top of their Apple headquarters, that is currently available to stream, and it is an official release. It's available to stream on Spotify and Apple Music and all that kind of stuff. But it hasn't been released in a physical form yet. I say yet because I really do believe that they will eventually release the entire Rooftop performance either in like expanded, maybe an expanded like soundtrack to Peter Jackson's Get Back, if they ever release that as like a box set or something. Or they might do like a standalone of just the Rooftop concert for like maybe like a record store day release or something like that. So I've got my fingers crossed. I hope they do release it because I really, really like it. And I liked what Giles Martin did he remixed it, of course, and all that stuff. So if you want to listen to that, it's available online. You should definitely check it out. I think it's great. And that basically covers it. Hold up. I forgot to mention something very, very important. Now, when they released the Let It Be deluxe box set, they actually released in Japan only an alternate version / mix of the Glenn Johns version of the Get Back album. And it's officially known as the Japan SHM disc number 4. So what they did was, instead of releasing what they called in the official box set, they called the Glenn Johns I believe they called it the 1969 mix of Get Back, his version. They actually released a different version of Glenn John's mix that was released in Japan only. It was released, and that version it is technically different. While all the takes are the same, they're all the same, mostly the same, Glenn John's versions. There are some different variations, like For You Blue is quite different. It has a different George lead vocal on it. And there are a couple of other minor differences, but it's definitely worth noting that it was officially released, even though it was only officially released in Japan. And again, that is the Japan SHM Disc 4, and it's just a different mix and version of Glenn John's version of the Get Back album. So I just wanted to mention that. So sorry to interrupt. Back to you, Brian. As far as all the officially released material from the Let It Be Get Back session. So if you want to own all of it, this is how you got to do it. Now, of course, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there saying like, well, you didn't talk about the Blue album, which is, of course, I have a bunch of them. Let me grab this one. There's the Blue album, which of course has some material from it. But all the material that is on this, all the mixes that are on this, could also be found on all the albums I just mentioned before. So that would be a little bit of being redundant. So I don't want to do that. And of course, there are like compilations like Beatles Rock and Roll Music, which have Get Back on it. But like I said, all the available mixes and versions are already covered on the albums I just mentioned here. So if there happens to be any recording or mix or whatever of a Get Back Let It Be song that I haven't mentioned from one of these albums, please let me know in the comments below, because I don't want to miss anything, but I do believe I have all the bases covered. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video today, and if you want to own all of the material from the Get Back Let It Be sessions, these are all of the albums you have to have in your collection to have all the officially released material. So that might be a new goal for you, I guess, if you want to try to track down all the material from these sessions. That's it for now, though. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take care, and bye for now.